Today I'm going to be with you for 2 to 2.5 hours.
এখানে আমরা মানুষ
So we're
দেখতে
starting the
পাচ্ছি।
tour from here. And the first part of the tour is almost 1 kilometer where you can ride horses for this bit. And then we're going to keep walking down through the Sikh until we get to the treasury, the main highlight to Petra. And then past the treasury, we're going to get through the facade street. We'll learn about the theater. We'll learn about the royal tombs when we finish the tour there. We may spend we may get actually the time until the treasury for 2.5 hours. And I'm going to finish there. So I'm just telling you, the time is 2.5 hours with you. Okay?
So there are so many things here also.
Yes, the site is pretty big, and in order to go all the way up to the monastery,
Main thing is this and this, right?
this area, well, this is the lower part, but there's still a lot of places that you can actually go to. The monastery is the second highlight, for example. The Byzantine church that has well-preserved mosaic floor. Going up to the royal tombs at an extra time. So the tour that you sign up for is actually the classic tour, which in fact sticking to the main trail and not actually doing any hikes. Okay?
এখানে আসলে রোদ অনেক বেশি, রোদের তাপ আছে একটু, কিন্তু যতটা হওয়ার কথা ততটা না, বাতাস আছে, একটু ঠান্ডা বাতাসও আছে।
This used to be a temple, and during the Byzantine time it was turned into a church, and then around 1400 AD it was turned into a mosque by the Mamluks.
Okay.
Now it is a mosque, of course, at the very top of there. One of the best fascinating places, in fact, to go and get some connection with yourself.
Okay.
It's the area over there is isolated away from civilization. You're basically standing up on the top of the peak, the highest peak of the mountains around Petra, so you can see 360 views.
Okay.
It's possible to see the top of the monastery from up there too.
Can you go up there?
Yes.
Okay. So we are going there, right?
No. You can go there, but today I'm not sure. Would you like to go there? You can go there.
No, we can,
But
because I will have no more time.
no. You can spend the time at your own if you want. The people who carved the city of Petra, the Nabateans, came to Petra as a nomadic tribe, where they found more than 18 springs of water running down the stride of a bit, which was the reason why they chose this place to be their home. The Nabateans turned this place into a regular camel caravan stop. Basically, this was the Las Vegas of the ancient world.
Okay.
All sort of entertainments were offered to the people who escorted the camel caravans, and that was in order to make Petra an attractive camel caravan stop. So over time, the ancient Nabateans grew very, very wealthy, and then the trade route shifted away from Petra around the first century AD, late first century AD.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that was the start of the decline of the Nabatean kingdom. And eventually, the Romans came to Petra. Some they refer to this as like not a conquest, but it was a peaceful transition of power from the Nabateans to be in charge of this place into the Romans. Or like these caves were not actually existing yet. The Nabateans, in fact, turned some of the natural caves into burial chambers, and then later on, they lived in houses. They built them out of rocks. At the beginning, the Nabateans lived in houses or like in tents made of goat hair, herding sheep, goats, and camels. What you can see.
Excuse me.
Yes.
That means these are tombs.
Yes, these caves are all tombs. And unfortunately, a lot of people confusing the ancient Nabateans, the people who lived in Petra back in like 2,400 years ago, with the local Bedouins that nowadays living in the caves. And that doesn't mean that they lived in the caves back then. They lived in freestanding houses, structures. Then Itan and Wadi Musa, and later on we're going to see more of them, of course. In fact, these were carved by the Nabateans, and they were serving as guard blocks guarding the entrance of the city of Petra. Ancient Nabateans, they were pagans. They worshipped multiple gods. This is one of their gods that the ancient Nabateans, of course, they thought or the influence came from Al-Kaaba.
Yes.
But I'm talking about smaller sizes also carved into smaller niches.
Okay.
This is called an Arabic Saharij al-Jinn, or the Jinn blocks.
Jinn block.
Yes. It's a local,
Local name.
yeah, because they thought that this is
my
how,
God.
oh, well, this Petra was carved by the spirits and not actually by human beings.
Wow.
It's our tongue.
Yes. You can see an inscription that is left there on the face of the rock.
Yeah.
It's a bilingual inscription written with the Greek and
Something's written.
Aramaic.
Yes.
And what you can see there is something that has to do with a spell, or ancient Nabateans usually, when they carve a tomb, they would leave this text that actually states who carved it, and also a spell from for the god to protect the place. The architecture is actually a fusion of the Greek, Roman, and also Egyptian architecture.
Yeah.
There, we can see the four obelisks are four Egyptian obelisks, maybe. This is actually the four headstones. That means they were references to the number of the people who were buried inside the upper part. We refer to them, or the ancient Nabateans referred to that obelisks as nefeshes. A nefesh means soul. Okay. Now the lower part is Hellenistic in style. It's Greek-Roman architecture, by the way. You can see the pediment.
Yes.
And the broken pediment, sorry, plus the which is like a Greek architecture, and we've got the half a barrel arch entrance, which is actually Roman architecture.
Wow.
Excuse me, you dropped something. Your smile. Don't work. بارك الله. The smart
Yes.
engineering that the ancient Nabateans used in order to protect more than 15,000 people lived within the remains, or the big mountainous area of Petra 2,000 years ago. It was like quite revealing the smart engineering plus the great knowledge of the geographical surrounding and the topography. And what we can see is that they used to have retention dams along the mountains over there and the cliffs. And then over the dried of a bit, also there used to be retention dams. Even though that the weather nowadays, or what we can see of the surroundings, it seems to be pretty dry, but in fact this place can be really dangerous when it rains, especially during the rainy season starting from November until March. So during that time, what usually happens is that we get sometimes some heavy rain, and due to the mountainous surfaces that we see here, rocky mountainous surfaces, unfortunately within 2 minutes the water starts running on the surface, which creates too much of the water running down this way. Ancient Nabateans carved the dark tunnel down there to shift the flash floods away from the city of Petra. Back then, the rule or the norm for the floods, it was to run down through the Sikh, which was the path that leads down to Petra. The Nabateans carved the dark tunnel down there in order to shift the flash floods away from the city into another canyon. So that is man-made, over roughly around 90 meters long and 12 meters high.
90 meters long and
12 meters high, like
12
that
meters long.
dark tunnel. It leads through a natural canyon that runs or snakes its way through the mountains for almost a mile.
Brain.
They had to build this wall to shift the flash floods into the dark tunnel. Otherwise, floods had to run down through the sea.
Yeah.
It's not only that. They also thought about protecting their city from the water coming into the canyon of the Sikh. So that's why they got these water channels. We got them also up there too. So they're catching the rain, send it to a sequence of systems.
That means these are the channels for rainwater harvesting.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
harvesting
These for rainwater harvesting, but later we're going to see the water channels were used for bringing in the fresh water into the city for drinking.